Hey everybody, I'm back in San Francisco again, heading to Nvidia GTC for the next couple of days. But before I head down to San Jose, I decided to come up into the city of San Francisco and try out Waymo. I've previously ridden in the Waymo robotaxis last year, along with some staff from Waymo, but this is the first time since they opened up the Waymo One service to the general public last summer that I've had a chance to ride in this, and also the first time since my last trip, my last rides in a cruise robotaxi in Austin last September, just before they shut down the service. So taking a little trip here. I'm heading out from the Stonestown Galleria up to Fisherman's Wharf, so across the city, and I will let you know how it goes. So this is I'm right now sitting in a Jaguar I-Pace, which is equipped with the Waymo driver system that is up there on the roof and around the car. And as you can see, there is no one in the driver's seat. I'm alone in this car right now. The experience is so far pretty uneventful. It did a surprisingly good job navigating through a very crowded parking lot at the Stonestown Galleria. So when you get into one of these Waymos, what you see in the back seat here is there's a display back here that shows you what's around. The default is it shows you what's around you. It's got a couple of USB-C ports for charging your devices while you're in transit, which is handy. And on the front screen there, it shows you your drop-off time. You can pull up different displays here. You can select music to play. It shows you the temperature, of course. Tells you can get a little bit of information about the car. What else do we have here? Camera privacy, riding tips. Let's see what they have
Hello from Waymo. As we get going, just give us 1 minute to cover a few riding tips. This experience may feel futuristic, but the need to buckle up is the same as always.
That video plays automatically when you first get in the car, and when you summon the car, you do it pretty much the same way you would with an Uber or Lyft. You use the Waymo One app. It finds your location and gets the nearest available car and sends it to you. I had to wait about 10 minutes for the car to arrive at my location. It wasn't actually that far away, but as you can see out here, even on a Sunday afternoon, there's quite a bit of traffic around San Francisco, so it's hard to get around. But you can also, down here, you can also get a map view that shows your overall route. So it shows you where you are along the route, heading up from one corner of San Francisco to the opposite corner. Let's see what else here. You can zoom in and see where you are on the map, or you could just go back to this version, this view that shows you what the sensors are seeing around you. So you can see that it just detected the red traffic light ahead of us here at the intersection, even though from my view I cannot actually see. I can just barely see the light there above the other cars, but because the Waymo car has more sensors on the roof, it can see more, actually see much more than I can as a human driver. So far the ride has been very smooth. You can see all the other cars that are being visualized here on the screen, and as yet I haven't had anything that gives me pause about the way this car is working. So I'm going to stop now and maybe come back in a few minutes. All right, I am back. Our trip is still continuing here. We're still about 26 minutes away. The ETA has shifted a little bit, partly because of traffic. As we get further into San Francisco, the traffic is getting a little denser, but the trip has still been really, really smooth. This has actually been a much smoother trip than anything I've experienced in a cruise car. One of the interesting things, I was standing in front of a store at the Stonestown Galleria, a fairly crowded mall parking lot. And unlike when I took rides with Cruise, where it was very finicky about where it wanted to pick me up, this car came directly to my exact location, much as would be the case if I was riding with an Uber or Lyft. So Definitely much easier to use, much more convenient to use than my experiences to date. And there's another one going back the opposite way. Much better than my experiences to date with the cruise, both here in San Francisco, where I had to walk around a corner, around the block to pick up a ride, and in Austin, where I also had to, in some cases, one case, had to walk about 6 blocks to get to a point where the car could pick me up, which was rather annoying. Definitely not the case here with Waymo in San Francisco. So Waymo definitely, you know, use their experience that they've built up, since about 2018, offering rides in the Phoenix area, which they have gradually grown and now encompasses basically the entire Phoenix metro area, including Scottsdale, Tempe, Chandler, Mesa. I think it's about 160 square miles now. And this car is operating very smoothly here in San Francisco, despite the rather much more arcane road structure that you have here in this city compared to Phoenix. All right. So the route map actually shows a turn coming up, which seems a little unexpected, since we're going down the same road, and it'd be interesting to see why. I wonder if there's a construction zone here, but coming up in a few blocks here to a turn, a couple of turns, which includes a left turn. So let's see why it's going this way. Paused because this is quite a long red light here, but we're back on our way. So yeah, as I said, I'm not sure why it decided to go down this path, because now it's going to have to make a left turn up here. A couple of blocks. Should be a fairly straightforward left turn from a one-way street to, I believe, another one-way street. So it's not a challenging, unprotected left. Actually, it's turning left. Oh, it is a two-way that we're turning onto, but still not an unprotected left turn because we're going from a one-way street. There's a couple more Waymo cars coming towards us. So aside from this one odd version, the path planning has definitely been much better than what I've experienced with Cruise during my rides with them on several different occasions over the last year or so before they shut down the service in October. So see how this continues on. Still about 17 minutes away from Fisherman's Wharf. Okay, we're coming up to another left turn here. Let's see how it handles this one. It's like a fairly low traffic area here. It shouldn't be too challenging. can see the pedestrians there. Cyclists slowed down. Good there on that four-way stop. So there's a cluster of pedestrians crossing the street there. And you can see them right there. So getting close. It's doing pretty good. Just two things that are, it's questionable. One was that yellow light that it ran, which turned red as we were passing through the intersection, and that odd diversion off of Market Street for no readily apparent reason. But otherwise, it's been a pretty uneventful ride. Interesting. The view and the visualization here has shifted to basically kind of looking down at the street from above and behind us on the right, as we're sitting here waiting at this red light. And you can see the cluster of pedestrians on the sidewalk here, and they're right over here. And sitting behind a muni bus. Okay, looks like the car was thinking about crossing the double yellow and going around, but then it realized that there's a bunch of traffic coming in the opposite direction, so it's waiting now, waiting for the muni bus to continue on its way here. These articulated buses, it's interesting. It kind of visualizes it as if it's two separate vehicles. And this was an issue the Cruise had. They had a crash with one of these buses last year because it wasn't quite sure what to make of it, how to process the articulated bus. Got a couple of people here photographing the robotaxi. All right, and we are about to arrive here in Fisherman's Wharf. So it's been a very uneventful ride. Been really pleased with this. I'm gonna have one more ride going back to my original location to pick up my car. But so far, I think Waymo's definitely doing a better job than Cruise did. And I will talk to you again soon.